Hi guys, so my today's topics are information and entropy in biophysics and non-equilibrium processes in biophysics. So starting with information and entropy in biophysics, we'll start with the information theory. So information theory, originally developed by Claude Shannon, quantifies the amount of the information transmitted in signals. In biology, it is used to describe how organisms encode, transmit, and interpret signals. So, be it genetic information, neural science, or intercellular communications. So, in genetic information, DNA and RNA sequences carry instructions for protein synthesis. Information theory measures how much data these sequences contain and how reliably they can be copied and how mutations affect and transmitted information. And neural information processing is the second, which communicates using electrical signals, where neurons communicate using electrical signals, and information theory qualifies how much data can be transmitted along neurons in synaptic pathways. This is a fundamental understanding brain functions like perception, memory, and learning. So, after that, ecological evolutionary dynamics, species interactions, environmental pressure, and genetic drift can be analyzed through information flow, where selective pressure as seen as filters optimizing survival relevant the information in genes of the behavior. So this one is done. Second, we'll talk about the entropy. So entropy from the thermodynamics is a major disorder of randomness in a system in a biological context. Entropy explains how systems transition from ordered to disordered states, also plays a role in understanding metabolism and genetic mutation. So first we will have molecular cellular theory. Within cells, metabolic reactions are molecules from low to high entropy states realizing energy that powers cellular functions, and that maintenance of low entropy ordered states in cells is active process requiring constant energy input. And another one, we have genetic entropy and evolution. So genetic mutations introduce randomness into populations, leading to genetic diversity. In third one, we have thermodynamics, entropy, and homeostasis, where biological organisms maintain ordered states far from the thermodynamic equilibrium through metabolic processes. And homeostasis relies on keeping internal entropy low, exporting entropy to the environment. So entropy is this much only, and information entropy in interplay. So it is mainly in living systems. So in biophysics, information and entropy often combine to describe complex behaviors. The interaction between information storage in genes, proteins, or neural citrus and entropy production or absorption is central of the life processes, and this is known as the information entropy trade-off. So it has three parts: entropy reduction by information processing, adaptation and evolutionary fitness, and energy efficiency. So, in entropy reduction by information processing, living organisms use information processing like DNA replication, protein synthesis, and neural signaling. And adaptation evolutionary fitness, the natural selection tends to favor genes that enhance the survival of organisms. And energy efficiency, biological systems use energy efficiently to maintain low energy states. Information theoretic approaches measure how efficiently information is processed with minimal energy expenditure. So, after this information entropy interplay, we have got application of information entropy. So, in biophysics, it contains protein folding, neuroscience, system biology. So, in protein folding, information theory can be described by the folding pathways of proteins, where entropy calculations are used to understand stability. And in neuroscience, information theory quantifies data transfer across synapses, and entropy measures neural unpredictability and adaptability. And in system biology, these principles are applied to understand complex cellular networks, where entropy characterizes variability and robustness, and information theory explores feedback mechanisms. So, from these four topics, we got to know that information and entropy together describe how biological systems achieve, maintain, and sometimes lose order, offerings insight into how life manages complexity and adapts changes into and evolves over time. So this was very much it about the applications about the information entropy in biophysics. After that, we'll move forward to non-equilibrium processes in biophysics. So first, we have characteristics of non-equilibrium systems. Let's understand what non-equilibrium processes are. So these are the fundamental in biophysics, as living organisms constantly operate far from the thermodynamics equilibrium. In equilibrium state, systems and experience continuous flows of energy and matter that maintain their order and functionality. These processes enable life, allowing cells and organisms to grow. self-repair, adapt, and evolve. So now I'll give you an outline about these things. First, we have characteristics of non-equilibrium systems. So it has energy dissipation, which means unlike equilibrium systems, non-equilibrium biological systems require constant energy input to sustain themselves. This energy is often derived from metabolic reactions of environmental sources. Second, we have steady states versus equilibrium. So biological systems have achieved steady states, constant conditions over time, but are far, far from thermodynamic equilibrium. So this means they maintain order and functionality despite ongoing energy consumption and material exchange with the environment. Another process we have in this, that is the irreversible process. So processes like metabolism, active transport, and cellular signaling are irreversible, meaning they cannot spontaneously revert back to their original states without adding additional energy input. So that's pretty much it about it. Another one we have non-equilibrium thermodynamics in biology. So non-equilibrium thermodynamics study how energy flows through biological systems, how these systems dissipate energy to maintain their structure and perform work. It has two parts: entropy production and detailed balance and flux. In entropy production, as a biological system perform, they produce entropy, often expelled into the surroundings. This is crucial for maintaining the low entropy, highly ordered states within cells. And detailed balance and flux. In the non-equilibrium conditions, reactions don't obey detailed balance. The forward-reverse rates are not equal, resulting in the fluxes and drive processes such as biochemical cycles and cellular signaling. Another one, we'll move forward to examples of non-equilibrium processes. It is in biophysics. So metabolism, as we all know, cellular metabolism is quite essential non-equilibrium processes where organisms break down molecules, which is known as catabolism, to extract energy and build new molecules, which we know it is known as anabolism, to sustain life. So another one in this, we have molecular motors and active transport. These proteins like kinesin and dynein and ATP synthase convert chemical energy from ATP into mechanical work, moving cellular components, transporting ions molecules against gradients. And in membrane transport, ions and molecules constantly cross cell membrane driven by non-equilibrium processes such as active transport. And protein folding and maintenance. Protein folding is a non-equilibrium process influenced by molecular chaperones, which use ATP assist achieve to correct the 3D structures and cell expand energy to ensure proteins fold correctly into the refold or degraded misfold proteins. We have another one, non-equilibrium protein formation and self-organization. So biological systems exhibit spontaneous self-organization far from equilibrium, often leading to complex or spatial or temporary patterns. So these patterns are foundational for processes like morphogenesis, which is formation of structures during development, and cellular organizations. So in another one, which is non-equilibrium process in neuroscience, the brain operates far from equilibrium, with neuroscience actively transporting ions into maintaining voltage gradients necessary for signaling and signal transmission. So it has two: action potential ion gradients and synaptic transmission neurons. And after that, we have non-equilibrium evolutionary dynamics. So it has two things, that is dendritic drift and natural selection, and population dynamics and ecology. So evolutionary dynamics in populations are inherently an equilibrium processes, the flow of genetic mutations in environmental pressures and selective forces drives populations out of equilibrium, allowing them to adapt over time. In genetic drift and natural selection, the process alter allele frequencies within a population, leading into non-equilibrium changes in genetic diversity. Adaptation to responses changing environment can be viewed as system exploring different non-equilibrium states. And population and dynamics and ecology, where populations of species are subjected to non-equilibrium interactions such as predator-prey cycles, resource limitation, migration, creating complex dynamics that influence the ecosystem structure and stability. After that, at the last, we have implications of non-equilibrium biophysics. So non-equilibrium biophysics explains how life sustains its highly ordered state in the face of the second law of thermodynamics, which predicts a trend towards disorder. And this perspective has a major implication where we understand disease, where many diseases include neurodegenerative disorders and cancer, involve disruptions in non-equilibrium processes like protein folding and cellular signaling. In synthetic biology and biomimicry, engineering artificial cells or designing materials with lifelike properties require mimicking non-equilibrium processes to sustain order and function. And another one, in energy efficiency, insights from non-equilibrium processes inform the designed energy efficient devices, as biological systems are remarkably efficient in managing energy dissipation. So, in total, in summary, we saw that non-equilibrium processes are central to the function, adaptation, and resilience of biological systems. And by studying these processes, biophysics gains insights into how life manages complexity, achieves self-organization, and interacts dynamically with its information and its environment. So that's pretty much it for today. Thank you so much.